Good evening. I call our Thursday, August 14th, 2025 regular City Council meeting to order. All council meetings are live streamed. As a reminder, tonight we will be having an executive session regarding two matters prior to adjournment this evening. One's considering the employment of a new clerk for council, and the next item is pending court action. We will start off with our opening prayer. We welcome today Ms. Cynthia Daniels with Span Ministries, and then please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Loving God in heaven, we praise your name, for you are all wisdom, power, and love. We bless you for the ability to care for your people by setting limits, by making reasonable accommodations, and by nurturing your young ones. Please bless us with wisdom and in decision-making and good judgment in our role as your stewards. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we'll next do our roll call. Clerk, please call the roll.
Jonathan Bolus.
Here.
Christine Sippa.
Here.
Jessica Epstein.
Here.
Donald Pavlik.
Here.
Tracy Pletcher.
Here.
Ted Roy.
Here.
Nick Rubino.
Here. All right, we are all present this evening. Next up is correcting and adopting our previous meeting minutes from July 24th, 2025, regular meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion to adopt as presented.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt the previous meeting minutes from July 24th, 2025. Any discussion on the minutes? All right, please call the roll.
Christine Sippa.
Yes.
Jessica Epstein.
Yes.
Donald Pavlik.
Yes.
Tracy Pletcher.
Yes.
Ted Roy.
Yes.
Nick Rubino.
Yes.
Jonathan Bolus.
Yes. Previous meeting minutes from July 24th, 2025 have been adopted by a vote of 7-0. Next up, item 5, financial reports. We are in receipt of the Fire and EMS fund transfer in the amount of $250,000, street maintenance and repair fund transfer in the amount of $225,000, bond retirement fund from the general fund in the amount of $100,000, police pension in the amount of $87,500, the bond retirement from the safety services income tax fund in the amount of $250,000 to council on 7/30/2025. The appropriations report, fund report, and revenue report for the period ending July 31st, 2025 to council on August 8th, 2025. The July financial reports to council on August 8th, 2025. The Tallmadge Recreational Center profit and loss report for the period ending July 31st, 2025 to council on August 8th, 2025. The income tax comparisons for the period ending July 31st, 2025 to council on August 8th, 2025. The income tax by source report for the month of July to council on August 8th, 2025. The revenue comparisons for major funds for the period ending July 31st, 2025 to council on August 8th, 2025. Consolidated investment portfolio for the period ending July 31st, 2025 to council on August 8th, 2025.
I'll make a motion to approve the financial reports as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the financial reports as presented. Any discussion? All right, please call the roll.
Jessica Epstein.
Yes.
Donald Pavlik.
Yes.
Tracy Pletcher.
Yes.
Ted Roy.
Yes.
Nick Rubino.
Yes.
Jonathan Bolus.
Yes.
Christine Sippa.
Yes.
The financial reports have been approved by a vote of 7-0. Next up, item 6, we have public hearings. We have none this evening. Item 7, community input. This is the point in the meeting, if there's anyone in the audience that would like to speak on an item that's not on tonight's agenda, You may do so now by stating your name and address, and you'll be allowed 2 minutes to speak. Yes.
My name is Cynthia Curtin, and I'm your new judge at the Stowe Municipal Court. I wanted to stop by and introduce myself, so I appreciate the opportunity. So my address is 4400 Courthouse Boulevard, Stowe. Governor DeWine appointed me to the court right after Memorial Day. I've been on the bench since mid-June. I bring 35 years of litigation experience to the bench. So that experience included jury trials, appellate argument, motion practice, negotiation, mediation, arbitration. And speaking of arbitration, I have conducted arbitration hearings, which is very similar to what I do now. I listen to both sides and then I make a decision. I've represented individuals, small businesses, large corporations, national retailers, national insurance companies. I've handled matters that have included premises liability, products liability, property damage, motor vehicle liability, workers' comp, contracts, coverage analysis, estate planning, probate matters, construction, zoning, and that's all I can list off the top of my head after 30 years for now. I've also served as an assisting National Coordinating Council, where I worked with National Coordinating Council of 2 major retailers. I worked with attorneys around the country in different state courts and federal courts in handling premises liability matters. So I got to see how other states run too. I am licensed to practice in Ohio. I've been to many of the county courts and municipal courts around the state. I'm also admitted to federal practice. I've been to the U.S. District Court, Northern District, and Southern District of Ohio, and also the Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals. I am settling in at the court. Things are running smoothly. I'm working with your prosecutor and the defense counsel and keeping the docket moving. I've already handled a couple high-profile arraignments. You probably remember the tragic murder that occurred over the 4th of July weekend, so I handled that and the search warrant. I'd like to introduce you to my bailiff, Dawn. If you can see her behind me, she's with me tonight. So things are moving great at the courthouse. I should mention that I am running in November for a new term. Be certain, vote Curtin. But today, I just wanted you all to be able to put a face to the name of your new judge. So I appreciate your time and your attention. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Is there anyone else in the audience that would wish to speak this evening on an item that's not on the agenda? All right. We will move on to agenda additions. We have none this evening. So that will bring us to our reports of administrative officers, and we'll kick things off with Mayor Kilway.
All right, thank you very much. I'm just going to keep this pretty brief this evening. I know there's been a lot going on. Circle Fest, I'd like to thank all of our departments that helped the Tallmadge Chamber of Commerce execute a fun and safe Circle Fest event. Our service department worked extremely hard to make sure that the circle looked beautiful with the help of the placement of the barricades, trash receptacles, etc. They did a lot of the heavy lifting to get the circle looking as beautiful as it did. And also our police department, who executed an intense and expansive safety plan, which was noticed by all. I'm still getting people throughout the community saying what a wonderful event it was and how safe they felt. And I also want to thank our fire department, who was heavily involved with both a booth showcasing fire safety and prevention, as well as first aid and safety with the fireworks. So I really want to thank everyone that was involved that helped put on a wonderful Circle Fest for us. Farmers Market is still ongoing, reminding everyone that it is on Thursdays from 4 till 7 p.m. through October 9th, and it is located at the Tallmadge Rec Center parking lot. Summer Fun at Saxon is a program that is put on between our school resource officers, Quillen, Dornack, and firefighter Sandy. They organize this event every year, and they had their final summer fun last week, and just the smiles and laughter of all of the kids that were there, and even the adults, just watching the kids get all wet with the fire hose and everything. It was really fun to watch. Danbury had an Innovation Week, and I was able to help them kick off the Innovation Week by speaking about the city's strategic plan and how it serves as an example of innovation in action, demonstrating how communities can grow thoughtfully and responsibly by working together towards shared goals. I was also invited to attend a formal ribbon cutting for Forge Film Studios, which is a new media venture out of the CTC network, which is located on Britton Road. So that is, again, another example of one of our businesses that is growing from within. Safety School ended last week. Again, our school resource officers, Quillen and Dornack, with the help of firefighter Sandy, they put on a great program every year, educating our children and going into kindergarten. And then it's kind of like the end of the summer. I was invited to the Tallmadge City Schools convocation that they have. So Superintendent Steve Wood puts on an extremely entertaining show for all of the teachers every year, and he does he introduces the staff, he honors milestones of the existing staff, and he has a David Letterman-style interview that he does every year. And so he had me share some of my peak moments that I'm looking forward to this next year. And then just the only other thing that I would have is the FOP patrol and sergeants contracts. You have received them, and they're ready to adopt. The agreement was made based on the fact-finding report that council did not object to, so we have those ready today as well. Okay? Any questions or concerns? Hearing none, end of report. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up will be our Director of Administration, who is absent this evening. We'll move on to our Economic Developer, Ms. Poole.
Good evening, thank you. Recently, I've been engaged at several different levels. So for the state and regional level, on July 30th, the Ohio Economic Development Association held an update via Zoom for all the economic developers in Ohio, which was really an excellent way to get caught up on the recent updates from the Ohio General Assembly. And it was a reference for a vast amount of material coming from the state as it relates to local economic development. So that will be helpful as we move forward, understanding what resources are available and how to best connect those with the opportunities we have in front of us. On the 14th of August, just earlier today, we had a Team Portage virtual meeting, so Portage County, on the Jobs Ohio Small Business Grant. This is a grant that is well taken advantage of across our businesses and has been a real success story, and it's important to keep up on the latest and greatest with that. So that was a good opportunity. And then here locally, Tallmadge business visits that we conducted, which we are well on track for 50-plus visits this year. We met with HAPCO / TARPCO, that's kind of a dual business, with Portage Development Board. We met with Miller Bearing Company, Henry Beers, World Elite Kids, and upcoming next week with Portage Development Board will be Carter Lumber. Then upcoming next week, the Tallmadge Chamber is, their speaker series is a really good one. I will be in attendance. That's going to be with the president and CEO, Ren Camacho, discussing how the Akron-Canton Airport right here in our backyard impacts economic growth throughout our region. Big deal when any businesses are considering coming to Tallmadge. How can they get here? How can their business, their customers or their business partners easily travel here? So I'm excited to hear what he has to say and to share with everyone. And I would recommend, if anyone's available to attend, to look at that on the chamber and sign up. That concludes my update, if there are no questions or comments.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next up is our Director of Public Service, Mr. Rohr, and his presentation.
Good evening. For the month of July, zoning and planning department was pretty busy. That's about average, the number we've been getting the permits. And then I got to say, when you have 16 property disrepairs complaints in a month, that's really, we live in a pretty good city. I mean, at the end of the day, 17,000 residents and 6,000 dwellings, and we got 16 complaints. It's not bad. It's a pretty good city. Cemeteries, that's average. We've been doing that, 5 burials a month. Moving on to the parks, you can see the membership there. B&K Root Beer is moving out of the Maca pool area and is moving into the concession stand at the rec, and that should open August 18th, fingers crossed. Keep in mind, we're going to have some learning curves and growing curves over there because it's new, and it's kind of like Mac in the beginning. It got better as the season went on, and that was pretty good. The rec center will be closed Labor Day. In the parks, August 18th, the restroom at Maca Park should be open, hopefully. The playground equipment at that park was also finally fixed. We finally got it in. Took all summer to get it, but it's finally in. And AEDs are installed at all the parks. Keep in mind that was a state mandate to have these AEDs installed in the parks. And it makes sense, but it was just pretty costly. Maca Pool, we have the bonus day, August 16th and 17th, 12 to 7. Well, there will be no concessions that day. And then the doggy dip, August 23rd. I'd like to compliment the staff over there at the Maca Pool. Great summer. Knock on wood, hopefully I didn't jinx it, but they did a great job, and the concessions went pretty well. Moving on to the street department. 840 hours starting July 10th through August 12th was spent on Circle Fest. That's huge. I mean, that's quite a bit of hours put into one event. Good event, but there again, keep in mind that's a lot of people not on the roads working. So you got to keep that in mind. You can see the rest of it there. The street guys did a nice job getting work done, as well as working on the Circle Fest. Moving on to water. We had one water main break, and that was down on Strecker. We had 10 for the year so far. We average about 17, so we're a little high, but we'll see how it goes. Keep in mind that clay is, when it shrinks from the heat, it also puts stress on the pipes, and I believe that's what happened down there on Strecker. Valves being exercised, that's an EPA mandate. We have to exercise those valves because you want the valves to work when you want to shut water on, shut water off, or turn water on. And then ordinance 2025-71, this is the Howell Road Playground grant that we're asking to apply for. It's a really good grant. I'd like to compliment Jessica Simons for finding it. The playground is $382,000. This would fund the equipment, portion of the equipment of $115,000, so it would drop the total cost down to $267,000. That playground is in not disrepair, but it's not in the best shape. The welds are getting old. It needs replaced. That's the picture to the left. The picture to the right is what we want to put in. This also includes the fall surface will be replaced. It's a great grant, so just wanted to mention that. And that concludes my report, so unless there's any questions.
Well, the B&K moving to the rec center, what are they going to be the initial targeted hours, or is that still to be determined?
So to be determined, they're going to do early morning. I'm not going to say it's breakfast because I don't want to misconstrue that. I mean, so they're going to be open in the morning hours, and then they're going to try to figure out how to do it when the weekends come and the evenings when the courts are being used, especially as we go into the fall and winter. So.
Okay.
Yep.
And I know my kids recognize the equipment, the replacement at MACA, so they thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Next up, our Director of Finance, Ms. Gilbride.
Thank you. Everybody received the July financial reports. Nothing highly unusual to report. Everything seems to be happening as anticipated. As I did mention in my report, probably over the next few months, we'll maybe have some we'll be having some reappropriation, one for income tax refunds. Those have been quite a bit higher than usual this year. Definitely, basically, mostly on the net profit side, where we're seeing some big refund requests, which probably explains why our net profits are down this year, because they're getting refunds and not making payments. And then obviously additionally, once we get all of the union contracts finalized, we will need to reevaluate where we are with salaries. So we'll be seeing that in the next couple months, and I'll keep everybody updated, and I'll be glad to answer any questions anyone may have.
All right, any questions? All right, thank you. Moving on to our Director of Law, Ms. Raber.
I have no report this evening.
No report. All right. Then that brings us to our reports of standing committees of council as a whole. We will kick things off tonight with our Planning and Zoning Committee, led by Councilwoman Pletcher.
Thank you. I call the Planning and Zoning Committee to order. There's currently nothing on the agenda today. Is there anything that anybody else would like to discuss? Okay, hearing none, I'll close committee.
Thanks very much. We'll move on to our Finance Committee. Councilman Pavlik.
Thank you. I call the Finance Committee to order. The Finance Committee deals with budget, appropriations, reappropriations, bonds, franchises, investments, and expenditures. Currently, we have two first reading ordinances, or ordinance and a resolution, excuse me. First up is ordinance 2025-71, authorizing the mayor to apply for and accept a Community Champions Playground Grant from Game Time, enter into contract with Game Time for the purchase of new playground equipment for Howe Road Park through OMNIA Cooperative Purchasing Program, appropriating for necessary funds and providing for immediate enactment. Sponsor of this ordinance is Director of Public Service, Mr. Rohr. Mr. Rohr, anything else to add to this?
No, like I said, it's a great opportunity, and that's a big chunk of money for a grant, so it was a good one. Appreciate Jessica finding that.
Is there any questions, comments from council? Hearing none, I would imagine that you would like first reading adoption on this?
It would be helpful, yes.
Yeah, I was
Thank
going to say for the grant, yeah.
I move to adopt ordinance 2025-71 at first reading.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a tie for the second. We have a first and a tie for the second. Is there any other discussion from council? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, you please call the roll?
Donald Pavlik.
Yes.
Tracy Pletcher.
Yes.
Ted Roy.
Yes.
Nick Rubino.
Yes.
Jonathan Bolus.
Yes.
Christine Sippa.
Yes.
Jessica Epstein.
Yes.
Okay, with that motion, ordinance 2025-71 passes with a motion of 7-0.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Next up is Resolution 2025-3, Exhibit A, accepting the amounts and rates as determined by the Summit County Budget Commission and authorizing the necessary tax levies, certifying them to the county fiscal officer, and providing for a needed enactment. The sponsor of this resolution is Director of Finance, Ms. Gilbride. Ms. Gilbride, would you want to add anything to this?
This is just our annual resolution to certify to the county auditor the tax rates at which to collect our property taxes.
Okay, thank you very much. Is there any questions from council on this resolution? I would imagine that you would like first reading adoption of this, Ms. Gilbride?
It doesn't matter. I have plenty of time to get it there if you want to give it a second reading.
Okay. We can go
I move to adopt resolution 2025-3.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion from council? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, you please call the roll?
Tracy Pletcher.
Yes.
Ted Roy.
Yes.
Nick Rubino.
Yes.
Jonathan Bolus.
Yes.
Christine Sippa.
Yes.
Jessica Epstein.
Yes.
Donald Pavlik.
Yes. So with that, Resolution 2025-3 passes with a motion of 7-0. And with that, that concludes the resolutions and ordinances for the Finance Committee. Is there anything else that needs to be brought before Finance Committee from council or administration? Hearing none, I will close committee.
Thanks very much. Next up, we'll move to our Personnel Committee. Councilwoman Sippa.
Thank you. I call personnel to order. Personnel Committee deals with personnel, labor relations, insurance claims, rules of council, and state statutes. We have before us ordinance 2024-75. It is tabled until 10/9/25, authorizing the mayor to enter into agreement with the Internal Association of Firefighters, Locals 2764, and providing for immediate enactment. Mayor Kilway.
Yes, I would like to request a recall of this ordinance 2024-75 for this September 28th council meeting. I'm hopeful that we'll have something to discuss, and probably we would have an executive session on that as well. So if we could recall that for September 28th, I'd appreciate it. I'm sorry. August 28th, August 28th, yes.
August
So
28th?
next council
The
meeting.
next council
Okay.
meeting, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, August 28th.
Okay.
I'm already hoping the summer away. August 28th.
Do we need to do any vote on
Yeah,
it?
state the
Do you have
motion. State the motion, and then
Okay.
The new date.
Ordinance 2024-75, it's requested tabled until August 28th, 2025. Do I have a motion?
I will make a motion to table that until ordinance 2025-75 to August 28th, 2025.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? Okay, clerk, can you please call the roll.
Ted Roy,
Yes.
Nick Rubino,
Yes.
Jonathan Bolus.
yes.
Christine Sipa,
Yes.
Jessica Epstein,
Yes.
Donald Pavlik,
Yes.
Tracy Pletcher,
Yes.
Ordinance 2024-75 is tabled until August 28th, 25, unanimously voted on. All right, we have third readings of ordinances and resolutions. We have ordinance 2024-76, Exhibit A, authorizing the mayor to enter into agreement with the Fraternal Order of Police, FOP, consisting of Tallmadge Police Patrol officers and providing for immediate enactment. Mayor Kilway.
Yes, I believe you received the final contracts this morning. They're in Exhibit A attached to these ordinances. There's really, as I stated earlier, it's what was discussed during the fact-finding that was not rejected by council, so everything in there should be, what you guys have the information on. And the quicker we can get these adopted, the better, but if council would like some time to take a look at it, I guess you can do that as well.
I will make a motion to approve ordinance 2024-76.
Thank you.
Second.
Any discussion? Clerk?
Nick Rubino,
Yes.
Jonathan Bolus.
Yes.
Christine Sipa,
Yes.
Jessica Epstein,
Yes.
Donald Pavlik,
Yes.
Tracy Pletcher,
Yes.
Ted Roy,
Yes.
Ordinance 2024-76, Exhibit A, passes with a vote of 7-0. Okay, ordinance 2024-76, Exhibit A, authorizing the mayor to enter into agreement, I'm sorry, what? 77, Exhibit A, authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with the Fraternal Order of Police, FOP, consisting of Tallmadge Police Sergeants and Tallmadge Police Lieutenants, and providing for immediate enactment. Mayor Kilway, sponsor.
Basically ditto. Exactly the same as before. You've had, we've already had our executive session, and so it's ready to go.
I will make a motion to adopt ordinance 2024-77.
Second.
Thank you.
Okay, any discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Jonathan Bolus,
Yes.
Christine Sipa,
Yes.
Jessica Epstein,
Yes.
Donald Pavlik,
Yes.
Tracy Pletcher,
Yes.
Ted Roy,
Yes.
Nick Rubino,
Yes.
Okay. Ordinance 2024-77, Exhibit A, passes with a vote of 7-0.
Thank you all very much.
You're welcome. All right, we have a first reading of an ordinance, ordinance 2025-69, Exhibit A tract, amending Tallmadge Codified Ordinance Section 111.01, Rules of Council and providing for immediate enactment. Sponsor is the council and administration. Who would like to speak on that?
So we formed a working group made up of myself, Mr. Pavlik, Councilwoman Epstein, and Law Director Raber, as well as Assistant Law Director, sorry, I couldn't remember her last name. Thank you. The working group met over, I believe it was 4 sessions over a period of 6 to 8 weeks, I'll say. So what's before you today in Exhibit A tract shows you all the proposed changes. There were some items, I encourage you all to read through this thoroughly, because there were some items that the working group decided to leave for council's decisioning versus, the working group's recommendation. So just encouraging, healthy discussion on those items, and anything that you would like to, to bring forward to council. This is your time to, suggest your recommendations as well.
I have two, and I know we'll probably let this go to 3 readings, but I would like to make the recommendation on one, and I apologize, Ms. Raber, for not bringing this to you sooner. Somewhere between in the accounts, I think it's in Rule 14, excuse me, which is the agenda. Somewhere in there, probably between agenda additions and reports for administrative officers, that we put something called matters referred in the line item. And I'm thinking that is a line item that if we, as council, want something investigated or a task that we give administration, we have a line item that we can follow up later in council, the next council meeting, that we can put that in the agenda if, to find out what we're looking for. I know we talk about it in our standing committees, if there's anything that needs to be brought forth.
Right, that's kind of where you would typically do something
I
like
was
that.
thinking that maybe we peel that out so it's not forgotten, and we move it into a line item called matters referred. And if there's nothing there, we just go over. It's kind of like agenda additions. If there's nothing, we just move forward. I've noticed that other cities have that item in there. And again, I'm bringing it as a suggestion. If we don't have to vote on it tonight, maybe if you can, if you and Melanie want to investigate it, next meeting, we can discuss.
Oh, I definitely
Yeah.
don't recommend voting on this tonight.
No,
No, we're not.
Making the addition.
Oh.
That's what I meant, yeah.
And just a point of order question, for each amendment, we will do a roll call vote, is that correct?
So
If
you don't
it-
have to do, so if we can, if you have suggestions tonight, then I can come back, and there seems to be consensus around those suggestions, then I can come back with the revised version at the next meeting. Would be at second reading. You could do it as one thing. If there's not consensus, then we can go into an itemized
Okay,
amendments.
okay.
So it's really, you can do it a multitude of ways.
Okay.
It's how you prefer to get there.
Okay. Any discussion on Mr. Pavlik's recommendation on matters referred?
President Bowles,
Yes.
I think it would be a good idea, if anybody has any amendment suggestions, that we at least do a roll call of some kind on it, so we can gauge whether we need to add or remove something, so that once this does get to third reading, we can get it done.
Maybe we'll during discussion, we'll,
Yeah, on that one, I would agree. On that one, I would like Ms. Raber and Ms. Baird to look into that and give their opinion on having that line item in there. That's all. It was a suggestion. Again, I apologize. I was on the working committee. I didn't bring that up sooner, but the last meeting, I had it in my mind. I just forgot to mention it.
So you would want it as a separate line item to
Stipend.
additional items, and then matters referred? Or-
Yeah, matters, just called matters
Or can
referred.
it be like a hyphenation and it can be either or?
No, it would be just under matters referred.
Okay.
It'd be like agenda additions, somewhere in there. Where we put it, I don't.
Okay.
It'd probably be for,
Are you proposing to keep, so like under each committee, then we have additional items?
yes, correct,
We would still keep that?
Yeah.
And we would add?
correct.
this.
So you want this to be like a separate standalone thing?
Yes.
Okay. And where did you recommend, where was your?
After agenda additions?
I think it's basically a reminder that we had asked somebody to look at something, pretty much. Like when we had Ms. Gilbride looked at the water rates for the last 3 years. It's just a reminder for us that, hey, we did ask about this
So if you have, though, a pending ordinance that's related to that, where we would be having two separate discussions? So I guess I would recommend that if it's something that's related to a specific ordinance that's pending, that it kind of stays there, so the discussion is all in
No,
one
yeah, I
spot.
agree, I agree with that, but there could be something that's not in an ordinance or a resolution.
Right, and then
that
it could,
needs- Correct. That's how I envision it. And I understand that each committee has additional items in there, but if we ask something today on the 14th, and, let's say it's Ms. Gilbride and Ms. Gilbride's like, okay, I gotta research that. Well, then the clerk will pull that out and put that under matters referred for the next council meeting as a reminder, and maybe the answer's not attainable by that time, that's fine, we just keep it on the agenda until it gets answered.
Could you also put that under agenda additions, though?
You could, but I would think that it's better just to have it out in its separate area. But again, I would look, I'm not putting you on the spot saying, hey, yay or nay, I mean, investigate it, we got time, right? That's all.
Sure.
Yeah. And then my second item is rule number 37. I thought we were gonna have one more meeting on that. I still think it's my opinion that Rule 37 should be struck out. We should not be allowed any sort of amount of money to spend on any kind of communication or any funds whatsoever. And I know we discussed that, well, if there's none budgeted, you can't spend anything. I just don't think that there should be an opportunity for something to be budgeted.
So,
And either it's written altogether that there's nothing is allowed, or you can just revert back to the old rule that was there, or we can change it to be something that no communication, that there's no fund, there's nothing.
Yeah, that was one that I think that the committee had decided we would leave in for purposes of discussion.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you all need
Yeah.
to.
I agree, yeah, so just for a point of clarification, we're referring to the new rule number 37, council correspondence and documents. The prior rule said no correspondence consisting of more than 10 pieces or attached documents, shall be distributed from Tallmadge Municipal Building without prior approval from the president of council. This has been amended. The proposal was council may budget for each council member an amount for written constituent communication. So the recommendation from Mr. Pavlik was to remove Rule 37 or revert back to the previous rule verbiage, which is up for discussion. And this was an item that the committee, the working group felt council should discuss.
I would agree with that. I think that, honestly, I think we could completely strike Rule 37. I don't think that there needs to be a budget. I think there's too much opportunity for abuse, for almost political reasons with taxpayer money. If I want to send something out to constituents, I can fundraise for something like that and fund it.
I'm also in
As I
agreement of
stated
that.
in the working group, I disagreed with that because at every other level of government, money is budgeted to send out mail. We're allowed to communicate with constituents through a phone, which some members have a phone designated for council only, and we pay for that. We are allowed to communicate with residents through email, which we pay for an email account for everybody. So I don't think a stamp to communicate with constituents is unreasonable.
I think with those aforementioned resources that the city's provided, such as the city-provided cell phone, email, I think that gives us ample opportunity to reach people at a very minimal cost. Mail is extremely expensive, and I just think that there's way too much opportunity for abuse there.
I don't think it's abusive to communicate with your constituents.
And Ms. Sippy, you were going to say something too?
No, I'm in agreement with this. On the school council, we didn't have anything. Board of Education didn't have anything that says the board members are allowed to send out mail. So I think keeping it, I personally would not use it because I don't want to be accused of abusing it. It's my opinion that if I want to send something out to constituents, it's going to be on my dime. I'm not going to use city money to contact anybody because that's my job. It's my job. We get paid for doing council. I will use those funds to reach out to the community. There's plenty of different ways. We have our computers, we have our phones. They can always call me. I can talk to them, I can go to their house, but I don't feel a need for the city to fund any type of mailing for me.
Thank you. Mr. Roy or Ms. Pletcher, any opinion on this rule amendment?
I can see both sides of it. That's makes it tough.
I can kind of understand both sides. I don't know if maybe if you want to put like limitations on what can be on the communication as far as like no pictures of the council members or, you know, something that's going on in the city that needs to get out. Because I know, for example, Circle Fest, there were a lot of people who did not know that the parade was canceled and were disappointed in that. Just the fact that they didn't even receive that information. So I think it can be used as a tool, but I also think we should possibly maybe have some type of restriction on it as to what can be going out.
Yeah, I think that if a communication like that needed to come out, you know, council can decide that and use our council budget for something, but I think individuals having their own budget of some kind is, like I said, it's just too great of possibility for abuse, for political gains versus what we should be here doing. I think that in the case of Circle Fest and the parade, you know, Circle Fest is sponsored by the chamber. I think they did a really good job of communicating it. I think the city might have even had some communication on that. Am I correct in that, Ms. Kilway?
Circular?
Yeah. And, you know, if council as a whole, through the president, decides to do something, there's still budget room and for stuff like that, but I think individual things like that should be a council decision, not an individual decision. That way, communications from council are from council, not an individual.
So again, the prior rule was regarding the no more than 10 pieces of mail, and then the amendment was proposing, you know, a set budgetary line item for each council member. You know, it looks like we're kind of at a bypass on this.
I think with everybody that has spoken, I'd like to make a motion to strike Rule 37 completely from this so that we have a fresh version for second reading.
I'll second that.
Still your So,
We have a
motion in a second.
motion to strike Rules 37 from the ordinance, the ordinance.
And,
Do I have a first?
Discussion.
Any discussion on this? Clerk?
I just wanted to.
Go ahead.
If you strike this completely, there will be no rule regarding it. So I don't know if that's what the intention is, so I'm just,
If there is no
So-
rule, would that mean that,
It's a free-for-all?
So no, if there's no rule, there is nothing in council rules regarding correspondences specific to
Yeah.
mail.
I would,
essentially.
I would
So-
make the recommendation from the law department, Ms. Raber, to come back and revise Rule 37 to allow no communication, no written communication is allowed by council. Printed, that's on the city funds, use of city funds.
I think would we still need a motion and a second and a vote for that? Because that is you're formally amending recommending.
and Ms. Raber, can we have like your legal opinion on how to word what I guess we're trying to accomplish? 'Cause I think you understand.
I believe that I'm assuming that you want to leave open the possibility that council, as long as all members have signed off on it, or it's been voted on, or you've had your legislative process where there's consensus and you all have decided, could do that, could send out correspondence. If it's coming from all of council, I would assume you would not want to preclude yourselves from doing that. I would think that what you're trying to do is say that you don't want any individual or some lesser than all the entirety of council to send out any kind of correspondence. Is that
Yeah,
a more accurate?
My opinion is a communication like that should come from council as a whole and be voted on, not from any individual.
So you would want like something maybe that any communication coming out of council had to be approved via some kind of resolution or something.
Yeah,
That's fine.
And what I'm doing now, what I think we're doing right now, is I'm getting the sense that there is a consensus of at least a majority of council, it would appear, that would be supportive of that. Am I correct? And we could probably do a straw poll so that I understand where everybody stands on that. And then what I will do is, based on the results of the straw poll, come back with a revision for the next meeting. Does that
Thank you.
make sense?
That's perfect, yeah.
Okay. So if you want to do a straw poll where you go ahead and you do kind of basically a roll call vote, so I know where everybody stands on it, that is helpful. And then I know that this is not a formal vote, but this is on with regard to this rule, if they want to keep it as proposed, or if they would prefer to change it as we've discussed, or, so that's kind of, and they can say it informally like that. They can say, I'd rather keep it, or I want it changed.
Jonathan?
And you need to withdraw, and you need to
Okay,
still
word it.
deal with the motion that's pending as well. So you have a motion and a
Yeah.
second to delete Rule 37 is technically on the floor right now.
Recall the
Okay.
motion.
How do I recall the motion? I'd like to recall the motion.
You cannot, it has to be done by the person who made the motion.
Who made the motion?
I recall my motion.
I recall my second.
Okay, so now that's cleared. And now if you want to do a straw poll, that would be
Okay.
helpful for me.
All right.
Thank you.
And I just word it like you did, or just informal?
It can be informal.
Okay. Councilman?
I would be, I'm more supportive of the communication coming from council as a whole. I would like verbiage around budgeting for that, a certain amount, as we do with like training and other things like that. Regarding individual communications, my clarifying question is around, are we saying that it's just not permitted at all, or would we want to bring that to council for a straw poll or a formal vote for
My
a
opinion-
simple majority? Or is it just, are we just talking about?
My opinion of that is that if a communication is coming out of council budget or city funds, it should be a communication from council as a whole, and it should be decided on by the majority of council so that it's
A simple majority?
it's represented by council, not an individual in any way. Any individual communications should be our responsibility and private matter.
Okay, then I would be in favor of that.
I'm in favor of that.
We're saying communications, though. All communication, we cannot communicate unless it's council as a whole.
Any communication
No,
in
no, no,
writing on city,
It costs money.
Correspondences, consisting of pieces of documentation going out, like via the mail.
using city funds or city resources to produce.
Well, city resources would be very broad, because that could
That's
include all
all.
your email communications and all of your, because you're doing it on the laptop, computer, the cell phone, like, so
Mail.
Written
Mail. I
think-
constituent communications.
Written,
written,
Yeah.
mail,
communication.
Yeah,
Or printing of flyers or,
yeah, I think the written constituent communication, that still clears it up. I'm sorry, you still had your straw poll going.
Oh, I'll go last, so go ahead. Nick?
I would be in favor of that change.
I would too.
I'm not in favor of making changes that make it more restrictive to communicate with residents.
Mrs. Pletcher?
Just to clarify, we're voting on restricting it to council as a whole.
Correct.
I would be good with that.
I also would be good with that.
right, I'll come back with a revision in the next meeting, and then you can take it from there.
Thank you.
Another item I wanted to bring up here was, we had struck out Rule 44, but I think I just need a reminder within the working group, wasn't the overall rule of ethics, wasn't that combined with another rule?
Yeah.
Via
Yes, it was
the ORC
duplicate, it
or-
was moved, and we have it like stated again elsewhere.
Okay.
That was moved up, it was something.
It was like, it was a redundancy.
Okay. I was asked that question.
All right, I'd like to also bring up rule number 8, meetings of council. Is there any reason that we cannot have this meeting on a Monday?
Monday
I'm
Night
just-
Football.
What was that?
Monday Night Football.
Ouch.
Well, if it starts at 6.
Yeah, there's certain,
If it starts at 6.
we're out of here.
Sorry, we needed some humor, you know.
There is no, there is no reason why it can't be any date or time within reason. That
Well,
you,
I just,
In all.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, in all fairness, it's council, but, we'd have to ask them too, because they're
Right.
attending a meeting too.
Just for a little bit of history, when I first got on
Use
council,
it Monday.
we had Monday night meetings, which were committee meetings, then we had Thursday night meetings, which were council meetings.
Yeah.
So we were meeting 4 times,
Yeah.
a month.
Twice
a week.
Twice a week.
Twice
right,
during
twice
the
a week,
same
because I
week,
remember someone
right.
told me it was
Yeah.
Mondays. Right.
So
And we kind of pulled them all together into one night, and then we've completely revised it thanks to our law
So
director.
I think what we have to be cognizant of, if we do it to Monday, the agenda, we would have to basically figure out, and I'm okay with that, and we can look into it, because we're not approving this. We'd have to look into when the city administration submits their legislation and when the clerk is submitting the information out to us and time for review. That gives us the weekend to review, and Monday, if the agenda were to come out, say Thursday, right? And but that it's a limited time of when the city could say, hey, I need this added. We could get stuff added on Monday. I'm fine with Monday.
I wanted to do, just on this topic, on Rule 8, I think we should address first the proposed amendment to change the time of the meeting first, and then address the day, because as stated, the day has implications into the other deadlines on legislation that are in the rules as well for administration and council, the clerk's office. So could we do like a straw poll on moving the meeting up from 7 to 6 p.m.? Any reservations or, I just think we should address the time first and then we can talk about it.
You're first.
I'm fine with 6 or 7.
Don?
Monday, 6 o'clock.
I'm with Monday, 6 o'clock also. Go ahead.
I'd be fine with Monday, 6 o'clock.
I'm against Mondays at 6 o'clock.
What about 6 o'clock?
What about 7 o'clock?
There's too many holidays on Mondays and,
That's true. That's true.
There's a
That's
lot
true.
of holidays, and then the other thing I was
That's
going to
true.
say is to Councilman Pavlik's point, there's a whole timing of when the agenda comes out. We spent a lot of time in the working group talking about that. And I think it would put the clerk in a difficult spot, because really they don't work on the weekend. They'd need to get the agenda out by Friday. We do want to respect people's weekend.
the
We've got
last minute
questions
change- last
But in a way,
Agenda.
yeah, in a way, it might be better because then there's not going to be, you can't change the agenda, right? I mean, because I would think that the agenda would be out by Thursday by 5. And that's 2 business days, right? And we have the whole weekend, we as council have the whole weekend to look at it. But you're right, I mean, we got to be cognizant of that for that
We would be
clerk
facing
position.
less
Yes.
availability, not that
Yeah.
they would not be available on the weekend. They
Yeah.
will be, but I'm sure they'd prefer.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm fine with either day at 6 o'clock.
Plus, there are a lot more holidays.
people take long weekends a lot as well. I think that needs to be considered as well. People do take long weekends for vacations because where Thursday's more in the middle of the week.
He's the travel guy. so-
Yeah,
As the travel
As a travel person, I am. I see a lot of
travel
weekend
agent
travel.
says.
yeah, my only
Muddy up that water a little bit.
My only reservations were around the day, just being the noted holiday topic and the various deadlines to get the legislation and the agendas ready.
Can this be, Law Director Raver, this might be a question for you. I'm not sure how often do we look at the rules for council?
Every so often. I mean, there's not really like a hard and fast thing, but we'll do it every several years.
Could this be, could a day be changed, like after it was researched further? Could the rules of council be changed when we're not normally, like with an ordinance or resolution, like if we chose to move the day at a different point versus?
You would need to make a change to this, because this is part of the codified ordinances. So it does have to come back and go through an ordinance change, so.
Let me finish the straw poll here, see if
Okay.
even the 6 o'clock is good. Let's go on time, 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock's good.
Yes.
Mrs. Epstein?
I prefer 7, but 6 is fine.
Ms. Pletcher?
I prefer 6.
Okay, so it looks like we like 6 o'clock.
Do you want to ask everybody over here?
Everybody over there.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts about 6 o'clock?
No.
No.
So my only just take into consideration is that a lot of the sports, if we have parents with kids in sports, a lot of the sports happen right after school. And as a parent who may have who does have a child who's in a lot of sports activities, a lot of times I was able to squeeze in a home game and then get here right in the nick of time. So it will make that more challenging. But I'm just throwing that out there as something to consider. I'm not saying I'm against it, but it will be in that zone where that is going to be harder.
That's why I said I prefer 7, but I'll do 6.
Molly, you want to go ahead now?
Molly?
Yep. I'm fine with 6.
Mayor Kilway?
I'm fine with 6. As to the day of the week, all my kids are grown and gone, so it really doesn't matter to me. The only thing I want to say is like maybe there are a lot of city events that happen to be on Thursdays. You know, a lot of times we miss the concerts at the Circle.
America's
We
Circle,
miss,
yeah.
you know, some of the school events too. There's
Yeah.
a lot of sporting events on Thursdays.
Yep.
And we all miss them, and we all can't be part of that, the community doing that. That's my only thought on that.
Yeah.
The 6th is good for me.
It's a good point.
Mr. Rohr.
Thank you for asking, but it doesn't matter.
Ms.
You're
Poole?
important.
6 o'clock is fine by me.
And Monday holidays, really, you're only looking at stable holidays on Monday are Labor Day and Memorial Day, correct? Those are the only two Monday
Well, and they
holidays.
have to fall, I was going to say, maybe take some time to look at
Calendar.
the calendar, because we're only talking about the second and fourth Monday. The fourth Monday, I don't know what holiday. There's
Memorial Day.
Memorial Day.
Memorial Day
And-
would be the
Memorial Day
only
would
one.
be the only one.
Yeah,
And then
and
you have
so
like President's Day.
And council.
Martin
has-
Luther,
Martin
Luther King.
President's Day.
Council has changed, you know, the schedule based on like for trick or treat. If it happens to fall on a Thursday of council's like met on Wednesday in the past. So
So-
you have that option too.
Yeah.
We can, yeah, so in January, when we set the schedule, that's one thing we could look ahead if we did move the day to Monday and adjust those weeks in advance. We've also, you know, adjusted the meetings, as Mayor Killoy mentioned, and also like set the budget workshop, another example. So if we do see meetings that do conflict with those holidays, we can adjust by instance.
So do we do a straw poll for Monday now?
I guess so.
All right. Mr. Bowles.
I will support whatever council supports, and the day is fine. That's fine. Monday would be fine, Thursday, whatever.
Monday.
Either day's fine for me.
Thursdays,
I'd prefer Thursday, but Monday would be kind of inconvenient with our schedule currently, but I could make it work.
Mrs. Pletcher?
Mondays.
I like Mondays also.
So that's 5 to 2.
It's 5.5. Yeah, that's right.
Everybody?
I will take a look at the other section, which had to do with the timing of the clerk's stuff, and adjust to try to have the same amount of time, except, but you will have the benefit also of having the whole weekend as well to review things, so I'll kind of tweak that, and then if you don't like what I came up with, you can always let me know.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any more?
I just have a question on that, because our schedule is approved through the end of the year at Thursday. So this would pass before the end of the year, more than likely. How does that work?
I could build in a clause that is an effective date for this section, like effective
January
January 1
Okay.
of
Yeah.
26, then it would be da-da-da-da-da. Like, I can put that in here.
And then, just with that proposal, do we need to put anything in around first reading requests? Like, you know, if it's like emergency, you know, if, like, because we're dealing with the weekend now, so if something's discovered like Monday morning and it's given to council by like after 12, you know, and like, hey, I need this at first reading, should we bake something into the rule that says, like, maybe it's just simple language, like,
Well, I think the dates would have to be, the days of the week would have to be adjusted because it specifies in here when things are sent, so it would have to be adjusted.
okay, so, but there's no parameters around, like, if you get something in your inbox at 6:59, I need this at first reading, that's permitted, technically, like, for us, for consideration.
How's it done now?
Well,
I mean, would it make a difference between
Well,
a Monday and a Thursday?
it hasn't been in the rules, but we've always asked for at least 2 days, you know?
2 business days.
So I'm just saying,
Yeah.
with the weekend, obviously, everyone's off, so I'm
Two
just,
bus-
I'm
two
trying to
bus-
think,
2 business days.
2 business days, that's what we said. So,
And just keep in mind that, like, if you're presented with something and council doesn't think that that's a good enough explanation as to why it's coming
Right.
to you, or then you don't have to, vote on it at first reading if you
Right.
don't want to. But-
absolutely, I was just thinking out loud.
Ms. Raber, I did have one more question that maybe you could answer for me. On Rule 30, Planning and Zoning Referrals, the current section in there states that any ordinance recommended by Planning and Zoning Commission that has not been adopted or rejected by council after having acted upon and having failed to obtain the required 5 votes to override the Planning and Zoning Commission shall become null and void, yada, yada, yada. Is the 5 votes to overrule planning and zoning, like to alter their recommendation, is that part of the city's
Charter.
charter? Okay. Thank you.
I have one item that, because of so I'm looking at Rule 7, Clerk of Council, and so we are essentially going through this process right now. And there's the line that says, "The President of Council will create a working group to facilitate the posting and interviewing necessary to fill the vacancy." I believe when Mayor, you and I met, that some of our other, like maybe the civil service has some more specifics about the working group. And Councilman Bowles, you basically already did this, but you ensured that there was a member from each party within the group. And so do we want to put that in here and specifically state that? And then my second question is, should the chair of the Personnel Committee be required to be in the working group? Or do we want to make that the rule, rather?
What rule number was it?
Rule 7
here.
7.
Clerk of Council.
So,
And it's like one of the last sentences in the revision of the first paragraph.
President of the council will create a working group to facilitate the posting.
And like I said, you already did that essentially
We-
in your working group, but
correct.
I think it would be a good idea to put that into the rules.
The only question I would have is what happens if it's all one party?
That's a good point.
Council,
You could have a situation
where it's all one party.
hypothetically where you wouldn't be able to fulfill that rule.
Is there,
You could write in that
You could
exception
write
as
in
well.
there,
Yeah.
Right, you can write in.
In the event that there is not another party representative or something, I don't know. We
Yeah,
can do
I
that.
mean, I would have no problem with adding that. I mean, I think when it was determined, I mean, it was just the right thing to do.
So there was 2,
In terms of personnel, yeah, I can see that point, Ms. Epstein. I guess the only thing I could say in this situation is I was the vice chair of personnel, and I was on that committee, because maybe the personnel chair can't be on that committee
yeah,
because of time constraints.
or, well, I should say the chair or vice chair, either one.
Yeah,
I think in that case, even the finance, because it would deal with salaries, so I don't know if the chairs really matter as much of,
we're committee as a whole,
you know,
so,
President Bowles, I think you did a great job. I think everybody was well represented. Something like that I wouldn't have any issue with. You know, as long as council's well represented, I think that that's fair.
So I'm,
Do we want,
or is there a consensus on these suggestions?
I think it,
I think I'm hearing that.
this one kind of falls into an update that the working group's going to provide this evening. So I would recommend maybe we revisit it at second reading, if we could,
So not make any proposed revision on this one?
for this evening, correct? Because I think that once we describe the update in more detail, I think it might help.
I don't know, I'd be in favor of Rule 7. You would put something in there that you have to have at least one party represented, one political
person
party,
from
one
each.
political party represented from,
And what if you have an independent? So maybe phrase it just bipartisan?
yeah, there you go, there you go.
Thanks.
That's right.
I'd be in favor of that.
We always have to remember Mr. Stallnaker.
And Ms. Almond,
Yes.
very true.
Do you want to do a
Consensus with
straw
something
poll
like
again?
that?
Yeah, I'd be in favor of
Yeah.
it being listed as nonpartisan.
No,
Or
Bipartisan.
bipartisan, I'm
Bipartisan.
sorry, bipartisan.
bipartisan, yeah.
I'm seeing everybody nod ahead. Is that, am I getting, okay, all
Yeah.
thumbs up. Okay,
Yes.
good, all right.
You're on film, so thumbs up.
Okay.
I think the personnel, having someone on personnel, I think that might be a little bit more difficult and might, if anything, I think the thing that should be first picked is the president of council, because that clerk is going to report to the
The-
president.
The president has to be in the working group.
Yeah, I definitely think.
Like,
that
that's a requirement.
That should be a requirement.
I think the president and any two members of council in a bipartisan fashion.
That's why I was recommending,
Good.
like, to table it so that we can just talk through this, because we're going to go into detail on the process, and I think it will help.
Well, and I would just say to that point, I think everybody's saying that you did a great job, and I don't even know all the details, but I'm sure you did. But that I think we want to, as we're looking at these things, these are for not just now, but also moving forward. So like, even if it's not this group, that whatever,
forward,
like
yeah.
the next group that goes through this, that they have a roadmap on how to do it
Yes.
too. So,
We haven't done it in 30 years.
Right.
right, and hopefully the next clerk stays for a long,
30 years.
nice long time too. But who knows, right? So,
So do you, so
so I
can we
just
just
think for.
restate, reconfirm the straw poll and just restate the proposal that.
So I got agreements on everybody shaking their head, they wanted to say bipartisan. Okay, so that I can include, I think that's unanimous. And then the question, I guess, remains, do we want to specify, obviously, everybody's okay with the president of council?
Yes.
Yes.
And I get, okay, and then do we want to specify anybody from personnel committee? Or do we want to leave that? So specify personnel committee, yes, shake your head, yes, and if no, then shake your head, no.
I don't think it's necessary.
Yeah, I don't think that's necessary.
Okay, I'm seeing no, I'm
That's-
seeing primarily no's. Okay,
I
so,
think as long as the president
Yeah.
by
Yeah.
person, those are more important.
okay, gotcha. So I just think it will be easier if I come back with the revisions that hopefully are agreeable, or if we have to tweak, it's only a few minor tweaks, hopefully, so that you guys can make those revisions at the next meeting and then keep this thing moving forward, so. Sounds good, thank you.
Okay. Anything else on these? No? Okay, we will leave that in first reading with revisions to come. All right, there are no additional items for Personnel Committee. Does anybody have anything else they'd like to discuss? Hearing none, I close Personnel.
All right, thank you very much. We will move to our Safety Committee with Councilman Rubino.
Thank you. I call Safety Committee to order. The Safety Committee deals with disaster services, communications, fire, and paramedics, police, and health. We currently have no legislation before us tonight. Does anybody have anything for Safety Committee? Hearing none, I close committee.
All right. Next up, community issues with Councilman Roy.
I'd like to open up community issues. Community Issues Committee deals with Parks and Recreation, Civic Affairs, and liaison between Council and Recreation Board and Intergovernmental Affairs. We have nothing before us tonight. Does anybody have anything else to add? If not, I will close committee. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. That brings us to our Public Service Committee with Councilwoman Epstein.
Epstein.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. I'll get it eventually.
I call Public Service Committee to order. The Public Service Committee deals with streets, highways, sidewalks, buildings, and improvements, water, sewer, electricity, gas, energy resources, recycling, waste, and trash. We have at first reading ordinance 2025-70 authorizing the City of Tallmadge to prepare and submit an application to participate in the Ohio Public Works Commission State Capital Improvement and/or local transportation improvement programs to execute contracts as required and providing for immediate enactment. The sponsor is Mayor Kilway. Do you have anything to add to this?
Yes, so this is to make the capital improvements to the Howe Road Improvement Project. And it is to be able to qualify for this project under the OPWC. Do you want to add anything to that, Mike?
Just looking for alternate funds other than the city,
Yeah.
so.
So this would be like a 68-32 where we would request a 32% grant, and then we would use OPWC's financing for the 68%. They have very low to zero interest rate loans that we can take for any period of time which we wish. My guess would be we would try to do it at about 5 years on the portion. So this will be able to get us about $1.25 million towards that project, which is a good amount of funding.
I make a motion to adopt ordinance 2025-70.
A second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any additional discussion from council or administration? All right, hearing none. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Christine Zippa,
Yes.
Jessica Epstein,
Yes.
Donald Pavlik.
Yes.
Tracy Pletcher,
Yes.
Ted Roy,
Yes.
Nick Rubino,
Yes.
Jonathan Bolus.
Yes.
Ordinance 2025-70 passes with a vote of 7-0.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
I was gonna,
I
I
apologize.
actually do have an additional item, and then I'll close the committee out. We had and actually this would maybe perhaps be an example of what we would put under the new agenda addition item. I don't know what you guys think about that, but I followed up with the chief as well as Mayor Kilway on the traffic on Howe Road after the mother was in here at the last meeting. And he provided us some updates that I wanted to share with council as far as how the speed was going and so on. So he reported that the average speed on Howe Road near the Freedom Trail was 39 miles an hour. He reported that 85% of drivers are driving less than 43 miles an hour. And the police department conducted 31 traffic stops in that area and issued 8 citations. I did also follow up with the county on the work that they are doing, which, as we were informed, obviously that needs to take place first. That their ordinance passed, and they are going out to bid within the next couple of weeks for that, so they anticipate 30 days or so, and the project is expected to take around 3 months and would be starting this fall. So they did confirm that, and were very helpful in just providing updates. So I just wanted to let everybody know that information that was provided. Are there any other items to discuss for Public Service Committee?
I just had one. Last night, there was a sizable power outage in Ward 3 that spanned from Dunbar over almost to 91 in various areas. I was just curious, and I apologize, I meant to contact you earlier today, if you knew the root cause of that.
I do not, but I'll get hold of you, because it was affecting Station 2 really bad.
Yes, yeah, we were all over there it was down for about 3 hours. So,
But let me see what I can get.
okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Any other items? All right, hearing none, I close committee.
Thanks very much. We'll move on to reports of special committees. I have none this evening. We have no announcements that I'm aware of. So at this point, there's two items. We will be adjourning for executive session, one item being the pending court action, and then the second agenda item is considering the employment of a new clerk of council. Just clarifying that when we get to the clerk of council agenda item in executive session, we respectfully ask that the administration be excused with the exception of Ms. Raber to discuss the candidate. It is now 8:21 PM and we are adjourned for executive session. We will return for the purposes of adjournment.
Court action and the new clerk position.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn for executive session, again, for consideration of the appointment of the new clerk position and pending court action. It is now 8:21. Please call the roll.
Jessica Epstein,
Yes?
Donald Pavlik.
Yes.
Tracy Pletcher,
Yes.
Ted Roy,
Yes.
Nick Rubino,
Yes.
Jonathan Bolus.
Yes.
Christine Sippa.
Yes.
All right. It is now 8:22, and we will adjourn for executive session. We shall return for a motion to adjourn. All right, we have returned from executive session. It is now 9:06 PM.
Do you want a motion to?
Do we need a,
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Oh,
Just
wait.
1 second, real
Oh, yeah.
quick. You had asked information about the power outage, and
Yes.
Mr. Rohr got information back. He said it was a burnt phase conductor. Don't ask me what that means.
thank you very much.
He will get more information for you, but that was what he got so far. So thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Do we have a motion for adjournment?
I'll make a motion for adjournment.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. Clerk, please call the roll.
Donald Pavlik.
Yes.
Tracy Fletcher.
Yes.
Ted Roy.
Yes.
Nick Rubino.
Yes.
Jonathan Bolus.
Yes.
Christine Sippa.
Yes.
Jessica Epstein.
Yes.
It is now 9:07 PM and we are adjourned. Thank you.